Thank you, Member. I call Jim Allister.
I think, Mr. Speaker, we're in need at times to remind ourselves what a budget bill is. It primarily is the essential control mechanism of the Assembly in respect of departments and other arm's-length bodies. It's the mechanism by which we, the elected representatives, give authority to those departments to spend money, our money, the public money. And therefore, a budget is a critical accountability and control mechanism. Which brings me to the primary point I want to make in this debate today. Astoundingly, under this budget bill, we have built-in headroom of £181 million, in respect of which there is no accountability to this Assembly. Because the way a budget should work is you say to an individual department or body that you're controlling, here is your allocation. This is on the calculation what you're getting and why you're getting it. But what we are saying in this budget bill is, here is your allocations, and on top of that, here's 181 million. We don't really care how you spend it. We're not going to hold you accountable for it. Now, that is an absurd situation for the Minister to have brought us to. I've never heard of headroom of £181 million in a budget. And when I asked the Minister an Assembly question, a question 30168, I asked him about the £181 million. And in part of his answer, he said this, something I found utterly astounding. The budget bill is a routine matter, and no separate legal advice was sought or received for this. That's the headroom. Mr. Speaker, a budget bill is anything but a routine matter. And if that's the fiscal attitude to the spending of public money, then it's little wonder that we're in the deteriorating situation we are. A budget bill is the fundamental control mechanism. I need go no further than the explanatory memorandum that comes with the budget bill. Let me read a paragraph, paragraph 3. Budget bills are the legislative means by which Assembly approval will be sought for departments and certain other public bodies to incur expenditure and use resources as detailed in the corresponding estimates volume and summarised in the schedule to the bills. Furthermore, budget bills will enable the Assembly to hold departments accountable for managing and controlling those resources within the limits authorised. That's the key phrase, within the limits authorised. But what we are doing here with this runaway headroom of £181 million is saying to these departments, no, we're not interested in holding you to account. We're not interested in accountability. You can just spend that as you will. We're not going to restrict you or put it within any limits. And that comes from a minister who tells it, what about it? A budget bill is only a routine matter. It's not a routine matter. It's the fundamental control mechanism of any Assembly over any executive spending money. And that careless attitude to public money is something that I find utterly appalling. Yes, I'll give way.
I thank the member for giving way. He is right to obviously be very concerned and alert to issues around us scrutinising using our control and supply powers in this Assembly properly, and be concerned about us not doing that. But would he agree with me that we would be in a far worse position in terms of scrutiny and control should there be no executive and Assembly after the election, where these decisions would be made with basically no scrutiny, and as happened between 2017 and 2020? And would he therefore encourage the DUP, over which he exerts a degree of influence, I would say, and indeed people in his own party, to enter into these institutions after the election?
Institutions which have been denuded of the power to make fundamental laws affecting our economy and our trade by virtue of the fact that we've been subjugated to foreign control are not institutions worthy of the name. And anyone who thinks they can simply carry on as if the protocol has not robbed this place, this Legislative Assembly, of powers over key functions is themselves deluded. And I think the member and those other rigorous implementers who want to hand away control to foreign place are those who need to look at themselves as to where we are proceeding. There could not be a functioning executive or institutions so long, in my view, as we have been subjugated by ill-gotten sovereignty taken by the EU over Northern Ireland. The answer lies in the EU giving up that ill-gotten sovereignty and restoring the sovereignty where it should lie in respect of these matters. If the member wishes to get a solution, then that's the territory he needs to look at. But, Mr. Speaker, in terms of this budget, I want to reiterate, either it is the proper control mechanism that we post it to be, or it is something that we think is just routine, you just nod it through. Sure, it's only £24.5 billion anyhow. Really? And then when we say, it doesn't matter, we don't need to have control over the headroom, we just hand it away. That truly is shocking from a minister who thinks a budget's only a routine matter. It's anything but.
And can I call the member Jerry Carroll to be brought on screen, please? Okay, Mr. Carroll, can you make your contribution, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you turn on the news, you cannot get away from the fact that there's a cost of living crisis at the moment. People are struggling and the executive have failed to stand by them.